because of one incident, colors are applying and they are not being appointed on the suitable cases. So from that point, I think we should protect her. She gave us her answer on the matter, and that's her answer. We can't use one isolated incident to want to prove a non-existing crisis.
No, Honorable Sole, wait, I don't want that. I don't want you to debate the matter. The reality which has been presented here and which has been acknowledged is that there is an underrepresentation of colored people in IDEC. And I think it's a matter which we should be worried about. And if there is a way, persuade the leadership of IDEC here to pay attention to it. They have been excluded for many years. And I think it's very important that we look at that. Honorable Souls might have lacked a better way to present it, Honorable Malem. But the truth that remains is that the colored population of South Africa also deserve recognition. It's very rare that you see them in any of the state departments, especially at the highest echelon of leadership. So the point, Honorable Sol, I think has been driven home, and we must take it as such. Honorable Nomvalo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, Advocate.
Good evening, Honorable Nomvalo.
Was the National Commissioner not involved and the moderating committee of SAPS in a recruitment process for which General Khumalo was arrested? Were they not involved as role players of any kind?
If you will just clarify, are you asking if they had any engagement with IDEC?
No, I'm saying for the HR processes for which General Khumalo was arrested, did they not play any role?
What I do know from what I have, I'm sure there's documentation in terms of the investigation to show who would have signed. I think their corporate services head of HR would have signed that final letter of appointment, but they would have accepted whatever the recommendation was. That's how I understand process. Whatever the recommendation was that came out of that specific panel, they would then have, short of them having questions, which I don't know whether they had, the appointment would then be endorsed and made. So administratively, that is the involvement I would see of anyone else outside of the panel. It happens across the board.
Yeah, because my subsequent question was going to be on the appointment letter. If you saw it and who signed it, if you saw it. Did you see the appointment letter?
The investigation team would have it. I didn't see who signed the appointment letter. But if I take how IDEC works, the head of human resources would sign the letter or send an offer of the appointment to the incumbent for them to accept. I don't think it would be different, Honorable Nomvalo, for the South African Police Services.
So if they are found to have played a role, maybe through effecting their signatures, then they are also going to be liable, correct?
In terms of what we are alleging as the criminality, we are talking about the initial recruitment process. So unless there was a reason for anyone after the panel made a recommendation to question whatever it is that and it also depends, sorry, Honorable Nomvalo, on how the recommendation is written, what is put in the motivation. There may have not been any red flags that anyone else would have seen, because it depends on how a panel couched its recommendations and its motivation.
Okay, no, the reason why I'm asking is, you will correct me if you have a different understanding, is that if there were many role players, then they were supposed to be arrested in terms of the principle of doctrine of purpose. People who participated in the recruitment process, they were supposed to be arrested, all of them, because they acted in common purpose to execute what is illegal, or what you alleged to be illegal.
What I understand differently, Honorable Nomvalo, is we are talking about the initial process. There couldn't have been any common purpose in the administration of the acceptance of the recommendation. And that is why I'm saying how it was written and the motivation. If there was nothing there to raise red flags, what criminal common purpose can the state allege against anyone outside of that initial group?
Okay. Now let's move to another question. You said General Kumalo was arrested as a consequence of a referral that was made by Honorable Adams, correct?
Correct.
And Honorable Adams made that referral in terms of Section 27, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, when was this referral authorized?
The referral was made on the 22nd of November. The investigation itself was authorized on the 6th of December.
So it was authorized on the 6th of December.
That is correct.
And
Because
then-
investigations wouldn't have been able to continue without
Yes.
the authorization, Honorable Member.
Okay. And then you further said for a referral to pass or to be successful, there must be an affidavit to which the deponent has deposed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, in this referral that was made in November 2024, on the 21st, was there any affidavit attached on the referral that was made in November?
The referral is an affidavit made by Mr. Adams.
And that affidavit is dated?
The 22nd of November, 2024.
Do you have it in your possession?
No, I don't.
Don't you think it was going to be important for you? Because another problem which I have with your statement is that documents which are relevant have not been attached. Not only because to some of us, documents are helping us to cross-reference and to see if there is corroboration between your statements and the attachments that are relevant to your statement. Now, if we just rely on a statement, and there is a precedent that has been made by witnesses who have come before you, they make, for easy reference, they make huge bundles of attachments so that we can be able to go further in terms of making sure that we broaden our insight. Now, my problem here is that you have not attached the relevant documents. The second document which is relevant, which you have not attached, is a letter that you wrote to a general requesting for the dockets that you wrote in December. But let's go back to this referral. You know that a docket is a public document, right?
No.
Would you agree with me if I say to you, the affidavit of Honorable Adams is dated the 6th of January, 2025.
That would be a supplementary affidavit because follow-up engagements were had by the investigating team with Mr. Adams. I did indicate that as well earlier. So yes, there would be a 6 January document.
Can you be able to furnish us with the original affidavit?
I Unfortunately, Honorable Chair and members, that is not a document that I can disclose. But if there are of the other documents, this document has not even been disclosed to the defense, and it is one of those documents where even the defense would have to apply for the document to be made available to them. The Section 27 referral cannot be made available, but other documents that Honorable Nomvalo or any other member says should have been here, what I would ask all of the honorable members is to kindly provide the chair with a list, and those documents that can be made available should be made available to this House in the course of next week as part of a bundle, which would then be referenced according to the affidavit and then be sent to the evidence leader for distribution. But where we are with the current matter, and because the Section 27 also, Honorable Nomvalo, still relates to other investigations that are pending, the Section 27 referral will not be made available. I'm not being difficult, I'm just indicating that in terms of where we are in the process, IDEC cannot make the Section 27 available.
So is it a classified document?
It's not a classified document as in we've written on it top secret. It is a document that seeks to initiate the intake of a matter. It is a document that, should it be disclosed, will have to first be disclosed to an accused. That document has not been made available to any of the accused. I can therefore not make any of those documents available. It is not like the charge sheet. It's not a public document.
So which...
It is a confidential document that deals with the intake of a matter within IDEC and how the matter is then considered for intake and then for the later authorization.
So which law are you relying on to make that proposition?
I'm saying that in terms of process, we have not disclosed a Section 27 referral. It is a confidential document similar to how we have memos in the NPA. And not just IDEC. There are certain documents that are not made available for public consideration.
Yeah, but which law? You mean, when you say in terms of the process,
So
you mean in terms of the established precedent within the organization, or there is a particular law that speaks to that effect?
So I cannot give you the law that deals with that. I talk to the confidentiality of the document and what it purports to do. So that document is used for a very specific purpose, and it is used to initiate an intake and a referral. It is a confidential internal document.
Yeah, no, if that is the case, then I think I am left helpless, but I will just put this proposition to you. The affidavit that have been exposed to is not a supplementary affidavit. A supplementary affidavit is an affidavit that makes notes of the content of the original affidavit and continues with the supplementary content that is contained in the supplementary affidavit. So the affidavit of the 6th of January 2025 is an original affidavit. I'm making that proposition to you. I can only change it if you come with an information that suggests otherwise. But the information that is at my disposal is an original affidavit, not a supplementary affidavit. It was signed by Mr. Barnard on the 6th of January 2025. By Mr. Adams, my apologies, Honorable Barnard. By Mr. Adams on the 6th of January 2025.
So on the 22nd of November 2024, we had a referral affidavit that refers the matter to IDEC and sets out in broad strokes the allegations. What I did understand from the investigating and prosecuting team, Honorable Nomvalo, is that they did a follow-up interview and statement taking with Mr. Adams on the 6th of January. So I've called it a supplementary affidavit because it was a follow-up affidavit. I'm not disputing what you have. They may not have written it as a supplementary affidavit.
So what was it supplementing?
So as we've gone through this process, also in MK15, what was being raised is what was in those dockets was not enough for one to decide. So for the further investigations to take place, a follow-up interview was held with Mr. Adams on all of the various matters to be able to get clarity and to be able to get more substance, which is what the investigating team sought to do.
Yeah, Advocate, I'm very worried that all what you are telling us now has not been mentioned in your statement. You have not told the committee that, or through your statement under oath, that there is an affidavit that was filed on the 6th beyond an affidavit that was filed in a referral application that you are referring to. So do you mean that the application, because the affidavit was signed after December, after the application was authorized for investigation? So you mean this affidavit, which was signed in January, was signed after the application was authorized? Then if that is the case, then why did you need to sign another affidavit on the 6th of January when an application already has been signed with an affidavit that you are referring to? Because if there was an affidavit, then it means the requirements were met, requirements for the application to be authorized.
The requirements were met, Honorable Nomvalo, for a preliminary investigation to be authorized. That is what was authorized. Once that is authorized, it means that the investigators can go ahead and conduct further investigations, which meant the taking of further statements and or an additional statement, whichever way you want to put it, from Adams, as well as then the obtaining of documents from wherever it is that they needed to obtain those documents. But without that, they would not have been able to do the follow-up that they did on the 6th of January.
Chair, I don't want to deprive people who want to, their hands which were up. I don't know if you will note them.
Yeah, no, there is a standing principle that you run and finish your questions.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Chair. Now, you are saying the process was authorized, or the investigation was authorized on the 6th of December. Is that what you are saying?
Correct.
And then on the same day, you issued out a letter, or you wrote a letter to General Sentumula requesting for dockets. Is that what you are saying?
That is correct.
Now, do you have a letter in your possession?
I have.
I think Honorable Sangoni
Yes.
has also requested for it.
She
Did
has.
you manage to get hold of
I
it?
asked for the letter to be sent. It was sent to me on WhatsApp, which I have on my phone and which I can make available.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I'm not sure if you heard me where I said, I do apologize if there are documents that any of the honorable members seek, if they could kindly provide a list so that in the course of next week, the documents that I am able to provide will be provided to the evidence leader for dissemination.
Yeah, my second problem, Advocate, with this letter, if I have a letter that is in your possession, unless I have a different one. On paragraph 1, it says, the letter is addressed to General Sentumule, and on paragraph 1, it says, the investigating director, Advocate Johnson, has authorized an investigation to be conducted in terms of Section 28 of the National Prosecuting Act. Now, you have said to this committee that the referral was made in terms of Section 27.
Yes.
Now, how does Section 28 come in?
So, in terms of the process, Honorable Nomvalo, the referral is a Section 27. When we have a referral, one considers the content of the referral. For an investigation to commence, the investigating director receives an application from the team, setting out the allegations, etc., and an investigation is authorized for institution in terms of Section 28. The Section 27 does not initiate the investigation. It initiates the referral and intake of a matter, which must then be adjudicated on, and then the investigating director must, if there's a decision that it must now be investigated, you must authorize an investigation.
Yeah, so what this paragraph says is that the investigation has been authorized in terms of Section 28. So do you mean that an investigation or a referral of Section 27 is authorized in terms of Section 28? Is that what you are saying in summary?
In summary, yes, and that refers also to, in the state capture matters, if I can just use an example out of the Zondo Commission or any of the other commissions, if we decide to look at one of those recommendations, even though there's a recommendation, a team must still put together an application that asks the investigating director to authorize the investigation into those allegations. So regardless of whether it's a Section 27 referral or how we source the investigation, investigations are instituted in terms of Section 28 of the NPA Act.
Investigations are instituted in terms of Section 28. So this investigation that we are talking about here, the investigation of a referral made by Honorable Adams, was instituted in terms of which section?
Section 28.
Not in terms of Section 27.
No, sir. In Section 27 is a referral. Once you get the referral, it's almost, when you get a docket, if there is no A1 complainant statement, you find that the detectives won't go and do anything with it. If it's just a report that was handed in, they still need someone to depose to an affidavit, a complainant statement. And so the referral is merely for the matter to be considered for investigation.
Okay, there are headlines which were circulating. I'm not sure if you saw them. In
I'm
December.
busy answering.
Oh, you're still answering? Okay,
Yes.
now you can
So
continue.
once that referral comes in, it is not automatic as well, Honorable Nomvalo, that an investigation will be instituted. I did indicate earlier there were certain matters where there was a Section 27. We found out it is being investigated elsewhere, it was referred there, or there were matters that didn't fall within the mandate of IDEC, and those matters were not taken. But we then engaged with the person who made the referral and pointed them in the direction of somewhere else in law enforcement that it can be. So we don't just say no, we also refer them there.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
So on the 6th of December, how many letters were sent requesting for dockets?
I would have written the letter to General Sentumule.
Yes.
I did ask my office to indicate that on the letters of Mr. Rapesu, Honorable Sangoni, whether or not I signed those letters. He's indicated, and they've sent me the copies, that I would have signed those letters as well. So those letters did go from my office. I could only, as I sat here, from what I recollect the letter that I sent myself to General Sentumule. And usually where there's matters of that import, they err on the side of caution and bring these letters to the head of office, and if I'm not there, to the head of investigations to sign.
Okay, so didn't you send another letter on the same date with the same content to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng, Major General Khumalo?
That is what I was explaining, Honorable Nomvalo, that initially when the questions were posed to me by the Honorable Sangoni, I could only recall the letter to Lieutenant General Sentumule. The office has sent me the copies of the letters that were then, which means that when the communications were had with Rapesu and he was told to whom to address the letter, they would then have asked that the letter be addressed to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner, which is Major General Khumalo for Gauteng, and from the letter, he had brought the letter to my office for signature.
Okay. Are you done? Can we move to another one?
If you're satisfied with the answer, yes.
Yeah, no, I've heard the answer. There are remarks, in fact, let me not say it's remarks that you made because it's headlines which were circulated in the media space. So the media might quote you out of context. In December 2024, they were quoting you to having said when you were addressing your staff, I mean, I don't have to repeat them if you know them. Did you see that circulating? Those remarks that they were alleging that you have said during a staff meeting.
Please remind me, in the same way that I honestly
They were
slipped my
saying-
mind about that I signed a second letter.
Yes.
Please remind me.
They were saying that you were encouraging prosecutors to go to court with empty bags and files, even if those bags don't have files inside, and they must fake it until they make it. Do you
And,
remember that?
and you say that was when?
December 2024.
No.
You don't
What I
remember?
do recall is, and it wasn't a staff meeting, I remember that sometime in 2022, when one of the teams were getting ready to place accused on the court roll for one of the state capture matters, it was giving them a pep talk to be ready, to look ready, to be the part. It was at no stage, and I have provided context when I was asked, at no stage expect anyone to be bringing false cases, which was not what was said. It was a matter of, I said to them, mark the files, make sure that you look professional. Sometimes how you look, how you walk, how you talk is half the battle. It was about boosting their confidence. So I do not retract what I said. The context of what I said matters because much was read into how that conversation actually took place and who I was having that conversation with.
So the media, because the impression that they were selling is that you were encouraging prosecutors to go to court, even if they don't have files in themselves, just to go there and appear as though they are busy, even when they are not. That is an impression that was sold. So you were quoted out of context. That is not what you meant.
That is not what I meant, Honorable Member.
Okay. General Masemula, when he was here, he said that during the movement of dockets between SAPS and DPCI and SAPS to IDEC, some documents get missing. So they disappear. That's what he said. Is that true? Are you aware of that?
Sorry, Honorable Member, I did not hear that testimony.
He
If you
said
could
some
provide the
documents,
context.
during the movement, some documents appear, dockets, some dockets disappear. When they move from SAPS to IDEC, from IDEC to, when they move from SAPS to DPCI and from DPCI to IDEC, during that course, they disappear, some dockets. Are you aware of that?
I have no idea what the general was referring to.
You have no idea.
No.
When you have taken dockets from the police, what then becomes a role of a police officer who was in charge of a docket?
So in the context of IDEC, the dockets that are currently in our possession would have come to us firstly because many of those or some of those investigators were duty reassigned and are at IDEC. In fact, we still have 7 DPCI seconded investigators in IDEC. So they carry their dockets, they carry the IDEC matters, and any dockets we would have requested them because they would have related to allegations that were mainly made out of the State Capture Commission report.
No, the chair is saying I've run out of time.
I have not said anything.
Oh, I thought when you are, I thought when you are lifting it up like this,
It's a warning
you are,
to you.
you are indicating that my time is
It's a
over.
warning to you that your time is about to run out.
Okay, so do you then continue to give progress to those police officers who were initially in charge of those dockets, or they just discard them completely?
So if they are designated to the investigations, they are part of the investigation, and so forth. Therefore, they continue with the team. Where dockets are handed over to IDEC, what we do is we do go back onto the CAS system as and when the matters are finalized, which is part of the protocol, and we would then record guilty verdict or not guilty. Where there's a guilty verdict, we also have to indicate the sentence. Oftentimes, Honorable Nomvalo, we would end up keeping the matter till we have clarity that the accused may not appeal, especially where there's a conviction and where the state, where there's been an acquittal, has taken a decision not to appeal on questions of law. If there's no further action, dockets must be returned to the South African Police Services, and the return of that docket must be noted on their care system.
So for the time when they are with you, when they are with IDEC, how do you keep updated complainants? Do you keep them updated when they are in your position? Maybe when you are busy with investigation.
We should be engaging the complainants.
Are you engaging them? Are you giving them progress to say, this is how far we are with your matter?
In terms of the investigations, it depends. A lot of the times the complainants themselves also engage with IDEC. If there is something to report, we do. But in the normal course of investigations, even if you are the DPCI, there's no back and forth between the eight.
Chair, do I still have time? We had an agreement with Honorable Skosana.
Sorry, Honorable Chair, I was trying to finish my answer, and
Yeah, no,
the two
he's
members
putting
were
me
having
under
a
pressure. He
conversation.
wants me to donate some time
Yes.
to him.
He has 4 minutes
So I'm
left.
being generous.
He has 4 minutes left.
He can take it, Chair. I don't want to be unfair to him. It's fine.
Well, thank you, Chair. I just want to find out, Advocate. You know, this matter of arresting the team and General Khumalo for a HR matter leaves much to be desired. Let me ask you now, do you know that the National Commissioner has a moderating committee which looks at the process that is being undertaken by the junior panel? Are you aware of that?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
The last one is that moderating committee looks at the process that undertake by the junior panel when it comes to employment. Are you aware of that?
No,
You're not aware of that?
no.
Now, I guess you know that only the National Commissioner who appoints, only the National Commissioner who appoints employees at SAPS. Are you aware of that?
As I indicated, Honorable Chair, in terms of process, it would depend, I guess, on the level of appointee. You would have HR that, and the CFO and the head of HR, which is also an acting deputy national commissioner who can sign certain appointments. But I have no doubt that the national commissioner can also sign, Honorable Chair, certain appointments. I just don't know which ones he's responsible for.
The arrested members that are accused of illegal appointing a person into a service. So why is the moderating committee and the National Commissioner not being arrested?
As I indicated, Honorable Member, there are no allegations that go to them. The allegations were restricted to these people that are at crime intelligence. But even then, the investigation has not shown that they had done anything wrong. If there is, of course, they have to be dealt with. But there isn't any evidence that they did anything wrong.
Was the National Commissioner engaged to confirm the allegations as given to them by the SAPS risk manager? If so, why not? If not, why not?
Sorry, Honorable Member, in relation
Let me repeat again. Was the National Commissioner engaged to confirm the allegation as given to them by SAPS risk manager? If not, why not?
I'm sorry, Honorable Chair, I'm lost. I'm not sure in terms of which matter. Are we still
No,
talking
we
about?
are talking about, we are still talking about the same matter, that there's a risk manager as well. What I'm asking is that, have you confirmed with the National Commissioner? Have you, or your investigators, have they engaged the National Commissioner in this matter?
I would hope that that is part of the investigation, but I don't have personal knowledge.
You
I
know,
cannot say if it was or wasn't done. I'm not in the investigation till there's the time for the matter, for the ID and head of investigations to be briefed, Honourable Member.
let me close by saying the arrest of these crime intelligence members and Kumalo was malicious. They were detained overnight at Brooklyn Police Station, am I right?
On a point of correction, there was no malicious intent or arrest. At the time, and by the time, all the accused, there were 7 of them, were processed. It is a lengthy process. Court time had long passed, and so the first available time for them to appear in court on a first appearance was that morning.
They were not detained overnight.
What I said, Honourable Member, is they were there overnight because of, from the time we started processing all the accused, there were 7 accused to be processed. It takes time to process them. The courts finish at a particular time. So the first available time is for them to go to court the next day. So for those reasons, yes, they were kept in custody. It's
Yeah.
a
Thank you so
practical
much.
issue.
The time of
Yeah.
the member has expired.
It's fine. I didn't get my answer because the